Hello, and welcome to today's webinar, Bridging Traditional Finance and Blockchain, How Wenia, a Bancolombia Group company, is shaping the future of digital assets. I'm Robin Verderosa, Vice President of Marketing at AlphaPoint, and AlphaPoint is a global financial technology company providing digital asset infrastructure that powers the next generation of exchanges, brokerages, payment networks, and banking. Today, we have Pablo Arboleda, CEO of Wenia, a Bancolombia Group company. Pablo will share his insights on how large institutions are leveraging blockchain. Also with us today is Martin Rios, General Manager of Customer Success at AlphaPoint. Martin will discuss AlphaPoint's role in providing digital asset infrastructure to Wenia. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Pablo, Wenia is a platform that's been making waves in digital assets and blockchain technology space. Could you share with us what Wenia is all about, how it aims to facilitate the adoption of these technologies, and any key milestones in the journey so far?
Sure, Robin. Thank you. Thank you very much for having us, for having me here. It's a great honor for the Wenia team to be sharing this webinar with you, with AlphaPoint, one of our partners in this journey. As you mentioned, Wenia is the new company, one of the newest companies of Grupo Bancolombia. Grupo Bancolombia is the largest financial institution in Colombia and one of the largest financial institutions in Latin America. And Wenia is the digital assets company of this group. Our mission is to be being the bridge that connects the world of the traditional finance, the world that we know for more than 150 years, with this new world of the digital assets, and how to help our customers to go back and forward using that bridge and to connecting those two worlds. Our idea is to facilitate the adoption of this technology by our users, and we are doing that, helping them to have a better user experience, helping them to educate themselves about this technology. And it has been a journey. This is not the result of one decision 2 years ago. We have been working around the technology from 2015, initially doing some projects with the central bank in Colombia and other financial institutions, then doing some internal projects, then doing some projects as Bitcoin Law in El Salvador and the Sandbox in Colombia. And more or less than 2.5 years ago, we decided to incorporate Wenia as an independent company. Our initial part of the journey was to decide where to do that, to find the right jurisdiction to launch Wenia, to incorporate Wenia. Then we had all the regulatory process, and we announced Wenia 3 months ago in May. And it's been a terrific journey. We did that with an invite list to our customers. We had more or less 20,000 customers joining that list. We have been working with them, and right now we are ready to open Wenia to anyone in Colombia. So thank you for having us here, Robin.
Thanks, Pablo. Connecting the two worlds of traditional finance and digital assets is a common theme for AlphaPoint and for our customers. Martin, can you tell us about how AlphaPoint supported the launch of Wenia's digital asset exchange?
Yes, thank you, Robin, and thanks for having me also. It's a pleasure to be here at this webinar. A pleasure to be with you, Pablo. Thanks for trusting us as a partner with this, with such an important endeavor as Wenia. And let me start. Thank you. Let me start by saying that AlphaPoint is a global financial technology company providing digital assets infrastructure to power banking, payment, and the next generation of exchanges. Our full suite products provide trusted, scalable, and secure for trading, payments, and custody. We have enabled over 150 customers in 35 countries, and AlphaPoint technology has powered over 1 trillion in trading volume on the platform. And as I mentioned, Wenia is a key and critical customer for us. We partner with them for about a year to provide the backend technology that enables the blockchain transactions to do payment and trading with currently with 5 digital coins.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you. What rings true is that AlphaPoint is very much interested in supporting scalability of the different platforms we support, and Wenia certainly is one of those as we hear it's growing. Pablo, let's talk a little bit about what users can actually do on Wenia. Walk us through the different functionalities that Wenia offers. Specifically, what types of transactions can users perform, and what cryptocurrencies are supported?
Great. I would like to jump in a little bit in the final conclusion of your previous question, is that AlphaPoint help us to do this in a scalable way, but I think it's also very important that it help us to do it with security and in a compliance way. That were like the 3 key things that we were looking in a partnership with AlphaPoint.
Thank you.
Wenia right now has the initial product is based in 5 transactions that our retail customers can use with 5 digital assets. The first transaction is that they can buy digital assets. When they use a transaction, they buy COPW, that is our stablecoin developed by Wenia, pegged 1-to-1 to el peso colombiano. They buy that stablecoin using directly their deposit accounts, or using a credit card or a credit debit, or a card debit, sorry. Then when they have COPW, they have the stablecoin, they can convert that stablecoin to 4 other digital assets. They can convert to Bitcoin, Ether, MATIC, or USDC. That help us to provide to our customers exposure to the largest crypto assets, and also exposure to dollar. In Colombia, you are not able to have exposure to the dollar, to the traditional finance sector. This approach help us to provide that opportunity to our users. Then you can send and receive digital assets from any different wallet. You can send from Wenia to any wallet, or receive from any wallet to Wenia. And finally, the 5th transaction is that you can sell your crypto, and then you can go back to the traditional finance world, because when you sell your COPW, we deposit in your account in a traditional bank. So those 5 transactions with the COPW are like the backbone of our building the bridge between the traditional finance and the digital assets world. Part of that bridge is the COPW, as I mentioned, the stablecoin that we developed back to the peso.
Great. Pablo, I heard you say earlier that Bancolombia Group has been in business for nearly 150 years. And I understand it stands as one of the largest economic groups in Colombia. Can you share Bancolombia's group has navigated and adapted to the innovation landscape over its long history? What is sort of some of the transformation it's gone through in its journey?
Yeah, sure, Robin. I think, Bancolombia is the largest financial group in Colombia, and we operate also in Central America and have some operations in the States. But our largest operation is Colombia and Central America. And as you mentioned, we have more than 150 years in the traditional finance world, and I guess we are always being a very innovative group of persons, group of people doing businesses. Is in our ADN how to be innovating. I don't want to spend too much time in the past, but in the recent years, for example, we have launched Nequi. Nequi is our digital bank with more than 20 million customers in Colombia. We have launched Wompi, that is our payments company that has been operating in Colombia and other regions. And it's in our ADN, as I was mentioning, to trying to understand how the technology can improve the way that we provide services to our customers. So more or less than 10 years ago, 2015 more or less, we started to understand how blockchain as technology can help us to improve the services that we provide, and how we incorporate that technology in our operations. Initially, we did a couple of projects with the central bank in Colombia and with other financial institutions. In the first phase, just trying to understand the technology without a specific goal, but just to understand it and to adopt it. Then we did some internal projects, and then a couple of years ago we had to participate in two specific projects. One was the fulfillment of Bitcoin law in El Salvador. Banco Agrícola, our bank in El Salvador, is the largest bank in El Salvador, and had to comply with Bitcoin law in a very short period of time. When we did that, we learned that the technology was more ready than we were thinking, and we did that really fast with a partner in El Salvador. And then that same year, the Superintendencia Financiera in Colombia launched an invitation to participate in a sandbox environment to provide crypto services to a very small number of customers in Colombia. We participate in that sandbox with Gemini, a very well-known exchange based in the US. And then again, we found in that project that the technology was more ready than we were thinking. So with that background, with the knowledge that we had been building, with the experience of those two projects, and with the understanding of what the customers were doing with the data, we decided to create Wenia. And as I mentioned, it's part of our ADN as Bancolombia Group to be incorporating new technology and to try to understand how that technology can help us to provide better services to our customers.
That's a great history, and surely it's great to see how Bancolombia has used technology to bring different services to people. It's an amazing journey. So tell us a little bit about Wenia in particular and how people use Wenia in terms of everyday life.
Yeah, I think that what we are trying to do is to build a product that is very easy to use, that the people can understand it really well. When we continue with the journey that I was telling before, when we decided to incorporate Wenia, one of the forces behind that decision was the advancement in the technology. But the other force, Robin, was that we were seeing our customers using the digital assets. More or less 250,000, 300,000 customers of Bancolombia were using those digital assets in a very day-to-day basis. And our rationale was, why are not we serving those customers? Why are we leaving them having to use other platforms? If they are our customers and if they have those needs, why are we not serving them in this space? So we decided to jump in, and understanding that the technology was ready and that our customers were demanding this, we jumped in and incorporate Wenia. Obviously, as we're telling, with the knowledge that we had been building from a couple of years of work. We incorporated Wenia 2.5 years ago. 2 years ago, the first part of the journey was to decide in which jurisdiction to do that. In Colombia, we don't have right now any regulation about digital assets. There are some players that are doing really good work working as a real sector company, but we believe that in this space, you need to bring more trust, and having the company incorporated under a regulation will help us in provide that trust. So we start that process. We get our license at the end of last year, and we announced Wenia 3 months ago. That announcement was really well received in Colombia. We invite the people to join a waiting list. That list in a couple of days reached almost 22,000 persons, and we have been working with that list and with those persons in this month. We are now ready to open Wenia to any person in Colombia that would want to join us. So more or less that has been our journey up to date. Right.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm glad you brought up regulation, because regulation is one of the most important considerations when launching a digital asset exchange. We hear that so often from our customers. Can you tell us a little bit more on regulation, and share some specific strategies or challenges you faced to ensure compliance and operational success?
Yeah, and I think regulation is key because, as I mentioned, we need to bring more trust. There are some group of persons that understand really well the technology and understand how the technology by itself provides trust, and they can use it. But there are larger groups that need to have more trust in how they can use these solutions. So 2 years ago, there wasn't regulation in Colombia. Unfortunately, today we still don't have a clear regulation. So our decision was to search for a jurisdiction with a clear regulation to incorporate the company. As I always say that we analyzed from Singapore to Colombia, all the different time zones, all the different jurisdictions, and trying to understand which was the best place to incorporate Wenia. There were very good options, but at the end we incorporated Wenia in Bermuda for a couple of reasons. First, because Bermuda has been developing a specific digital assets regulation since 2018. And I refer to the Digital Assets Business Act, DABA, and it's very clear how to develop the business. That was very important for us. Second, because the Bermuda Monetary Authority has been developing internally a lot of knowledge about this space, so they are able to challenge you to enforce that you are doing the things in the right way. And probably third, because Bermuda has experience in how to manage global businesses, in how to help the companies to do that. We are starting Wenia in Colombia, but obviously we would like to serve our customers in different geographies, and having that type of place to incorporate the company was key to us. And obviously, and it's not less important, the operational facilities to be in the same time zone and to be very close to our jurisdiction was key to us. So those were the reasons to incorporate the company in Bermuda, and we are really happy working under DABA.
So interesting to hear that combination of a company in Colombia using Bermuda as their jurisdiction and framework for regulation. Martin, I want to ask you to jump in, because we are constantly, not a day goes by that we're not talking to our customers about regulatory requirements in their countries. What specific strategies or technologies are employed to ensure compliance for our customers and that we're abiding to the regulatory framework? Can you talk a little bit about that for AlphaPoint?
Yes, Robin. Yeah, thanks for asking this question. Regulation is a critical pillar that needs to be in place to launch a project like this. But to answer this question first, I must acknowledge that Wenia is part of the largest and most prominent financial group in Colombia and as well in the region, in the Latin American region. So they have an extensive experience in financial and banking industry, and they have come a long way to understand how to be compliant with the current regulatory framework. But this is not always the case with all customers. So at AlphaPoint, we recognize that digital assets, that the market of digital assets evolves rapidly and often, if not always, outpacing regulatory frameworks. So this creates a very complex environment for businesses. And in our platform is designed to be agile and allowing us to stay ahead of the curve. So in addition, we have assembled a team of experts with a deep experience in launching digital assets services across various jurisdictions. And this knowledge allows us to anticipate regulatory trends and to build solutions that can adapt to evolving requirements. And speaking about our platform, it incorporates flexible features like customizable KYC and AML protocols. So combining both the technology and the expertise that we have on our teams, we offer a comprehensive solution to partners. So we work closely with them to navigate the complexities in the different markets and ensure ongoing compliance.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you. I want to go back to Wenia for a little bit. So Wenia, as you mentioned, launched just 3 short months ago. But share with us, Pablo, some of the early wins you experienced with Wenia and how it's been received by the citizens of Colombia. And I know you touched on that a little bit earlier, but I'd like to hear more about that.
Yeah, I think the earlier win was to get the license, right? That wasn't easy. That's an important part of this work, and I think that anyone that wants to do this has to be aware that that's not easy, and you have to celebrate it. That's internally you have to celebrate it, but that was important for us. Second, as you mentioned, we announced Wenia at the beginning of May, and internally we had a discussion. Okay, how the people will receive Wenia as a Grupo Bancolombia company, how the market will receive that, and we were very surprised because the reception was really positive. I'm not a media coverage expert, but when the marketing and the communications team in Bancolombia were analyzing this, is in Bancolombia when we have a really good story, we had like 25-30 mentions in the media coverage in Colombia and in Latam. When it had almost 150 mentions in media, so I think the tone of the reception was very positive, but also was huge for us, and I think that is the result of what we were analyzing, is that the people need somebody bringing trust to this space, and that people were expecting that some player did took the first step. So that was really positive. Then, as I mentioned, our initial stat was that in a couple of days, almost 22,000 persons in Colombia join us in our waiting list, and we have been working with them in this month. But the opportunity is much bigger than that, because I don't know if you are aware, but in Colombia we have the 4th place in Latin America with more crypto transactions. Latin America, it's a place with a very good understanding of crypto and adoption of crypto. So being the 4th in Latin America is not bad. We have a very important group of users. Some statistics say that more or less 5 million customers or 5 million persons in Colombia, have done one crypto transaction in their world. So the opportunity is very important for us. We are just in the beginning, and we are very excited about that. What's the key factor that we are looking to that success? Like, I would like to highlight two things, Robin. One, education. How can we help the people to educate themselves about this topic? And second one, how to help them to use the digital assets with great user experience. How it's easier for them to use this type of assets. That's those like the key factors that Wenia is trying to solve to move from our current customers to serve more people.
Fabulous, fabulous. Trust, user experience, education. These are just things that are just very important, and glad to see the success that Wenia has had. What about some of the challenges that you faced in launching the exchange as well, and things that you needed to overcome and make sure that were put in place and buttoned up?
I guess that besides the regulatory landscape that we were talking before, that I guess that's obviously a challenge. I would like to highlight two things. One, the security part, how to be sure that we are providing the service with high standards of security. In that space, we have been partnered with Fireblocks as another partner. We have been partnered with AlphaPoint, with Fireblocks, with Chainlink, with Chainalysis. How we partnered with the right players in this space to be sure that we are providing a secure operation. How we maintain our operations with high standard. That's one of our biggest challenges, our biggest concerns. And then I go back, Robin, sorry, with education. I think the education is an ongoing challenge. You can celebrate some milestones about the education, but you have more challenges about that. And I would like to talk about education like in two different aspects. One, the internal education within Bancolombia, because to be able to launch Wenia, we have to have on board a lot of different teams within Bancolombia and have they're okay to do this. And we were 10 years ago a very small team analyzing an opportunity, but we have to educate the different teams to show them that was a real opportunity. And obviously, the second part is education with our customers, how we show them how to take advantage of this technology and how this technology can help us to serve them better.
Thank you. I want to jump into stablecoins. We talked a little bit about the COPW, and I just want our audience to understand in terms of what the stablecoin has meant to the Bank of Colombia and to Bancolombia, as well as to our users.
Yes, Robin. As I mentioned at the beginning, Wenia is intended to be the bridge between the traditional finance world and the digital asset world. And we believe that a key part of that bridge is having this stablecoin. The stablecoin is COPW, COPW, is pegged 1-to-1 to El Peso Colombiano. Its reserves are held in a trust company. Its reserves are audited online with Chainlink services and its oracles, and its reserves are also audited by Harrison Trotter, an audit firm in the UK that is very expert in this kind of markets. So for us, the Colombian peso stablecoin is a key part of that bridge, because it's the way that we can show them, our users, how to move to the digital asset world and how to go back. And we believe that will be key in the future to develop different use cases. For example, cross-border payments or for example, when we would like to support tokenization of real world assets. If you would like to do that in Colombia and you would like to do that in the digital assets environment, you will need to have an assets with the characteristics of the COPW. So we are very happy to be able to do that with Colombian talent, developed by us. That contract is also audited, obviously, by largest firms to be sure that the smart contract is secure. But as I mentioned, the COPW is a very important part of our vision.
Terrific. Thank you, Pablo. I want to move to the future. And you mentioned you talked about cross-border payments, but what do we think are the most significant trends shaping the future of digital finance in Latin America and throughout the world? Martin, can you first offer your thoughts on that?
Yes, I think this is a great question, Robin. And I think that Latin America is really booming when it comes to digital assets. There is a huge opportunity here. People are looking for alternatives to traditional finance, and crypto offers a way out. So we're seeing a lot of interest from countries like Colombia or, for instance, El Salvador, where Bitcoin is a legal tender since year 2021, but also in other countries like Brazil, Argentina, and Uruguay, which is great. So, of course, there are challenges too. Rules and regulations are still being figured out, and this could be tricky. But we are here with AlphaPoint to help businesses to navigate that. At AlphaPoint, we understand that we are to provide the tools and support to make things easier for our clients. And we believe that with the right approach, Latin America can become a major player in this crypto ecosystem.
Thank you. Pablo, can you add your thoughts on the future of digital assets? Maybe how financial institutions are innovating and staying ahead in this evolving landscape?
Yes, I think that the future is bright. I think that the technology is helping and will help even better to democratize opportunities for more people. I think that when you have the traditional finance, you have a very well group of products developed, but from some operational restrictions, you can serve with those products to all the people. And I think in the power of the technology to democratize, to bring those structures, to those financial structures to anyone, to be able to access to anyone to access those kind of opportunities. So I think the digital assets are here just as part of the evolution of how we move value and how we transfer value. And if we go back, Robin, at the beginning of times, we exchange value with physical goods. Then we move to the paper, and then to the fiat, and then with the digitalization of the fiat. But I think that the digital has they have some characteristics that are very interesting to be able to exchange value in a more efficient way, in a more easier way. So I will highlight the two things that I told you before. I think that right now, how to be able to improve the cross-border payments space, how to help to give to some assets more liquidity and show the real value of those assets through the tokenization of real world assets. It's a very interesting space to work. And probably a third one is how to help the people to use their digital assets in a more day-to-day basis wherever they want it. So in trends, we are focusing on those three, but I'm pretty sure that out there are many more ideas about how these type of assets can help to improve the life of the people.
Terrific, terrific. We support those. Those are good things to look to in the future. I want to thank everybody for their participation. Thank you to Pablo. Thank you to Martin for participating in our discussion today. Thank you to the audience for joining us. We look forward to working with Wenia in the future and to help growing the Wenia for the people of Colombia. Thank you for everyone who joined us today. We'll be following up with information as well as contact information if you want to get in touch with Pablo or Martin and have any questions. Thank you again and enjoy your day. Thank you.
Thank you,
very
Robin.
much.
We're also hoping to work with AlphaPoint and to anyone out there that want to innovate around the digital asset space. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.